Weird to me again when I watch clips like this, and by the way, Frank Luntz is we were talking about this,
Yeah.
an extremely well-known focus group person and pollster. He does really good.
Question, Megan, because I can't get my mind around this. They're saying that Doug Jones is a terrible, option. He's someone that was a U.S. attorney. He prosecuted KKK. He prosecuted terrorists. The only thing I can see is that he is pro-choice.
I mean, I think there's a lot of different things when you're talking about conservative policies. And again, I'm never trying to justify this because I think I've made it quite clear how I feel about this particular candidate and this particular election. But I do think everybody's shocked by this clip. I watched it over the weekend. I was like, yeah, those are Alabama Roy Moore supporters.
The real shocking is when the same guy says that the reason African Americans vote Democrat is because they're stupid. We're not showing that one.
We can show whatever you want.
We don't have time.
I
That's
wish
the other
explained why they thought he was a bad
candidate. Please don't imply
candidate.
that I was trying to not show that. It's a separate
No, it has nothing to do with you. No,
Okay.
it's all about time. We have 4 minutes to get stuff in. So there's talk time and then there's video time. So we bring you the video that we can get the conversation going on.
But I
that
wish
was
we
a
did hear
conversation.
more about that candidate because we know why Roy Moore is a bad option, but if Doug Jones is just a bad option because they disagree with the idea of choice,
So
that to me is
they're
interesting.
one issue voters. One issue voters.
The Alabama state Senate race will be decided tomorrow, and Republican pollster Frank Luntz spoke to a room full of Roy Moore supporters about the 9 women accusing Moore of sexual misconduct. Take a look.
By show of hands, how many of you think all the women are being paid? Seriously. Is this how you want to be treated as a woman if something were to happen to you? Do you want to be dismissed that way?
Better have proof. You know, it doesn't sound like it went beyond, there were still clothes on. It doesn't sound like it went beyond anything, and that as soon as the girl said she wasn't comfortable, he took her home.
I guess my question is, you blame her. She's 14.
I'm not blaming her. I'm blaming both of them. So I didn't say that I thought he was without sin. It's possible he did it.
Does it feel like their minds are made up already? Or do a lot of Alabama Republicans feel that it's really more important to get the agenda through?
I'll tell you one Alabama guy who's against Moore, and that's Senator Shelby, who is the other Republican senator. I mean, they're gonna have to work together, be like Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey. You know,
That's a good one.
I mean, that's gonna be ugly.
Yeah.
This was such a wonderful piece, focus group, because, I think when people think about Roy Moore supporters or Trump supporters, they think that there are people that don't look like all of us. And they're just people that are good people, well-intentioned, but they have these views that I find so difficult to reconcile when you have a lot of the women raising their hands and saying they must have been paid, or, she was 14, but
you know what was more
they're both to
shocking
blame.
me? Several of his accusers are Republican women who voted for Trump. And I would think that they would say, well, tell me what happened, because, I'm trying to figure this out. But there seems to be, it seems that they've said, nope, you're getting paid to do this.
They're leaning so partisan, it's so tribal in this, that I think they have to justify it by saying these people must have been paid or they're lying, because I think to put your head down at night and be okay with what he did and vote for him is very difficult. So because you notice, I think it was only women that raised their hand when he said,
One guy.
Was there one guy that said, do you think they're being paid? It was like all the females were like, yeah. It's like, what? Like, there's no.
Can I just play one clip, though, about there was a man in here that I think said, it really echoes everything I heard during the election.
Neither she nor I have ever voted for Roy up until now. And we intend to vote for Roy because of the opponent that's running. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, we've probably got 2 miserable candidates. In my opinion, we ought to go with a conservative. We ought to go with somebody that we know is going to vote conservative. And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so that gentleman's name is Harry Vance, and he's a financial trading instructor. This is exactly what I heard during the last election, that they're both horrible candidates, but ultimately I go with the conservative, and we've just been given these sort of 2 garbage options. But I'm a conservative, and I vote conservative, and ultimately it's about Gorsuch, like in the election with Trump. And I think it's weird to me, again, when I watch clips like this, and by the way, Frank Luntz is we were talking about this, an extremely well-known focus group person and pollster. He does really good.
Question, Megan, because I can't get my my mind around this. They're saying that Doug Jones is a terrible, option. He's someone that was a U.S. attorney. He prosecuted KKK. He prosecuted terrorists. The only thing I can see is that he is pro-choice.
I mean, I think there's a lot of different things when you're talking about conservative policies. And again, I'm never trying to justify this because I think I've made it quite clear how I feel about this particular candidate and this particular election. But I do think everybody's shocked by this clip. I watched it over the weekend. I was like, yeah, those are Alabama Roy Moore supporters.
The real shocking is when the same guy says that the reason African Americans vote Democrat is because they're stupid. We're not showing that one.
We can show whatever you want.
I mean, we don't have time.
I wish they explained why they thought he was a bad candidate.
Please don't imply that I was trying to not show that. It's a seven.
No, it has nothing to do with you. No, it's all about time. We have 4 minutes to get stuff in. So there's talk time and then there's video time. So we bring you the video that we can get the conversation going on.
But I wish we did hear more about that candidate because we know why Roy Moore is a bad option, but if Doug Jones is just a bad option because they disagree with the idea of choice, so that to me is interesting.
One issue voters. One issue voters.
Oh, go on.
Go ahead, I'm just saying, you're saying that the Democrats, and they're saying we're taking the high road. At the end of the day, Roy Moore will have a seat in Alabama, probably. We will have another vote. Al Franken will be gone. They may be able to put a Democrat in for now, and it's possible that a Republican will then take that seat. So we lose yet another seat in Congress, and the Alabamians, of course, will vote another Republican. So where is the justice in this? We are basically losing a Democratic voice in Congress. And may I just say that Al Franken is the only one who spoke out against Jeff Sessions, and then all of a sudden these allegations came up right after that. So I'm a little bit suspicious of what's going on right now.
Who came on maybe wasn't.
I'm not accusing her. Don't put words in my mouth. I am not accusing Leanne of anything. All I'm saying is it's interesting. That's all.
And you know what they're saying to me right now? It's really interesting. You haven't gone to break yet. So we'll be right back.
I have
to do So we love John McCain.
Thank you.
We do. He sat down for an interview with Esquire, and he would like Hillary Clinton to hush because he says he felt it was a mistake for her to write a book so soon after she lost, and that he learned after his loss the hardest thing to do is just shut up. Now, is he right?
With all due respect to your father, and whom I like very much, I think he's wrong. I think a woman's place is in the resistance. The woman won the election.
When we talked to her, I learned a lot from that book, and I know it was probably super cathartic for her to write, and she talked about dealing with it. What I think I could get on board with is if she wrote it, got it out, but then maybe waited to release it so it becomes more historical, because I think the optics of looking at someone that's lost, whether you agree with them, and I voted for her or not, it looks bad when you did not win, and you're already out of the gates talking.
She did win.
But we asked her about that when
she did win.
She won the popular vote.
She won the popular vote. But we don't elect presidents in America with the popular vote.
I get that, but the numbers are still there.
Does that make you feel good at night? Like when you're so angry about Trump, does that make you feel better? Because if I were you, it would not make me feel better.
It doesn't.
The electoral
college makes me feel better.
Matter. I mean, the electoral college you live and die by. I will say, losing the presidency is a unique experience.
I know my civics, Meg.
Oh, because you've experienced running for president. You know what it feels like on election night, Joy.
Listen, I was hit.
She wore a black veil.
I had a black veil on the night that
why are you pointing to me?
I'm talking for that. I was telling the audience, calm down.
What my father is saying is the personal experience.
Bitches is hot today.
No, I think her point is a valid one because you were up close and personal when your father didn't win the election.
And I've been there on election nights for other candidates who haven't won, and it's deeply sad. And I think when on our election night we prayed, and then my father told me to buck up. We're the most blessed people in the world, and then he didn't complain about it. And we as a family recognized President Obama as the phenomenon that he was. And whether or not you like it, President Trump is a populist phenomenon in a completely different way. And I think if I were you and I'm part of the resistance, I would look forward to new leadership. Because
I am.
And who?
I just want to say very quickly, I feel better that she won the popular vote because that tells me that the majority of Americans understand that racism is wrong, that the otherism is wrong, and that a woman can lead.
Thank you.
So it makes me feel more comfortable.
Right. It makes me feel better about the
2020. Sunny.
Bye, y'all. We'll be right back.
And it's an intense challenge. It really is. I try very hard every day.
But which are your people?
And
which are your people?
I consider red state people my people.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on.
You didn't vote for Trump.
I did not vote for Trump, but part of it is because of a personal attacks on my father. I couldn't reconcile those two things, but I do think
can't
that
reconcile his racist remarks sometimes.
Why do you think
that are of color?
About the
Wait, hold on. Let us finish.
I'm sorry.
I'm really trying. I try every day to explain Trump and his supporters, and I think that I feel like after Obama's election, I tried very hard to understand why he won, what we weren't doing as Republicans, all these things, and I don't think the same respect is being done to Trump, no matter how much you hate him, and I get it. Trust me, I get how much everybody hates Trump. I understand. But I'm just saying, you are doomed to repeat the same mistakes that you did in 2016 if you think it's only about you're complicit as this voter, you're whatever, and you don't have to listen to me, but I tell you, before I joined the show, I watched your Election Day episode. I was not shocked in the same way that you guys were by Trump's win. I was not surprised.
You weren't wearing a black veil like Joy?
You weren't shocked as well.
But
that's true, you weren't shocked.
Yeah, no, I wasn't shocked. But here's the thing, really, at this point, he is in there. And I will tell you, I don't hate anybody. I really dislike him because what he did, he didn't have to do. He didn't have to come in the way he came in. He didn't have to come in swinging like that. And it pissed me off. But I will tell you this, and I'll say this before we go. Unless did everybody say what they had to say?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I'm thinking.
I think it's
But I also think that, like, a lot of people, no disrespect, and please jump in, Joy. Like, a lot of people hate Mike Pence and Paul Ryan. I had a conversation with him on the train that was like, I don't know who's worse, Trump, Mike Pence, or Paul Ryan. And when you call Bush Hitler, when you call my father Hitler, when you call Mitt Romney Hitler, at a certain point, if you cry wolf long enough, the beast shows up. So I'm sitting here telling you that we have to find some common ground here, and I try every single day, and I feel like I'm failing right now.
You aren't.
No.
Wait. Just everybody hold on. We'll be right back because we're going to finish.